say, part of 2015 and also 2016 very, very heavily, and there was a lot of decimation of livestock, and agricultural production almost came to a halt. So that has affected a lot of people in terms of food shortages and other non-food requirements that are associated with drought conditions. But I'm pleased to say right now there's really been a turnaround. The rains have come in quite heavy. But I think it's important for me to also take advantage and explain to the people that, look, the efforts to do with the Regional Climate Outlook Forum have really been helpful. It's just that perhaps we still have a challenge in people understanding how to make use of the information and to act on it. Because even the big drought of 2015, 2016, it was predicted 6-7 months in advance before it happened, and these good rains as well were predicted a good 6 months in advance. So the advances in climate sciences are such that we can really take advantage of that. But how then the decision makers, the user communities, are using this information is another, I think it's a current challenge right now, because I believe that the resources now required for relief assistance and so on are significantly higher than that would be required if the action had been taken proactively. Well, I'm sure there are experts who will talk more about that in economics, but I'm thinking, for example, if you're told that a drought is coming, you can either relocate your livestock or you can start to sell them off. At that time, when there is still a lot of, and they're still in good state, you can fetch more money for that from the sale of your livestock, and then use that money later to purchase. But when they are dropping dead already, you can't do anything about it. The same for food. You can buy your grain well ahead of time. It probably will cost less than when you buy it when really the country is in deep trouble, because obviously you need to feed your people. So I think the grain markets respond to that. So I think those are the sort of things I think I look at. But I'm sure colleagues in the economics area could really look at it more closely and see exactly how much savings the economy could have made if there was action taken on the information that would have been provided a good 6 months in advance. Well, actually, weather system, we call this El Nino Southern Oscillation System a teleconnection. It means things happening a good 10,000 kilometers away have an influence at some point downstream, let's say. El Nino is one good example. La Nina also, the counterpart of that is an example. Because I think the climate system works between the atmosphere and the global oceans. So when something is happening, say in the eastern tropical Pacific, it means that sometimes the rains start to happen in an area, and of course there is a budget of the atmospheric rainfall, let's say, globally. So if it is raining too much in one area, it definitely is some places where it's in deficit that is happening in those systems. However, there are regional aspects as well that can come into play. The antecedent conditions that may have in a country, in a region, for example, in Africa, how the monsoon trough, also sometimes referred to as the intertropical convergence, on how it is like, is also important to look at. The Indian Ocean itself, how it is warm. I think we talk now about the Indian Ocean dipole, where it is warmer in one area and is not so warm in another area. All those come together and work in conjunction with the El Nino La Nina systems to influence the weather more closely. But I think we need to do more studies. We need to make sure that there are resources available to study the nearer oceans to Africa, so that we know certain things that can be tweaked to make weather systems, prediction in the weather systems better. Well, as I said, we came out of a drought, but the projections is said for 2016-2017, which is where we are right currently, where that there should be normal to above normal rainfall across the bulk of the region. And of course, Southern Africa is the contiguous part, starting from Tanzania, the Congos, and coming southwards pretty much, but of course it doesn't involve Gaborone and all those in that area. And then of course in the Indian Ocean you have Mauritius, Seychelles and Madagascar, which are part of Southern Africa. And I think generally all those 15 countries are expected to have normal to above normal rainfall to a large extent. However, I should point out that it's not true for Tanzania to an extent, because Tanzania tends to have, in a majority of cases, an opposite response to major rainfall producing systems in the sub-region. So normally when you have a lot of rains in the bulk of the southern tier states, you tend to not have favorable conditions for good rains in Tanzania in general, and of course sometimes parts of Madagascar. But here I think we are talking of the climatology, and of course I think it is important to put into context. You find that rains actually in Southern Africa increase from the southwest, where there are actually desert areas, as they go northwards, northeastwards. So therefore even sometimes below normal rainfall in say Tanzania is probably still much more than normal rainfall in western Botswana or Namibia at some point. So I think those are some of the things that we need to understand. And when we talk about normal rainfall, is with what is expected in a particular location, and the rain I think starts from very few millimeters, less than 100 millimeters per say 3 months, all the way up to 600-700 millimeters as you go northward. So I think that needs to be understood as well. We need other colleagues in the relevant sectors, agriculture and so on, who know exactly what advantages have been taken of the prediction. From where I stand, you would expect that the production systems will be such that you have greater maize production, for example, than there was in the last two years. In fact, some people are really talking of bumper harvest in their areas. However, there are also other things that come into play, because sometimes if there's excessive rainfall, things like soil leaching and crops, fertilizers which they will need to put may be washed away and so on, and even weeding itself can be a challenge under very wet conditions. So those are some of the aspects. There could be some flash flooding here and there, which can have some challenges in some areas. But I think overall we expect that making use of the abundant rainfall, I think there should be recovery in food production. Oh, that's very true. But I'm sure there are platforms that are already in existence where I think even at the very high level there is a sharing of information. I think the AU system itself allows for that. But I think there could be enhanced collaboration in many areas. Of course, I think Africa will benefit that way, because of course you may need to know where you are going to move grain. Are you going to move grain from one part of Africa to another part of Africa? It's important to understand that, and that comes through a discussion within various thematic groups. Or are you going to now have to to import from outside of Africa? All those things are important because there are cost implications on how you're doing that. So I think there should be closer collaboration in other areas as well. But of course, whether for a start really doesn't need visas to get one place or another. It doesn't need passports. it is a big unifier in some areas. So that's why perhaps it's natural that climate scientists are more cohesively working than in other sectors. But I'm sure we can take our partners in the user community or other sectors of the economy can actually take advantage, can take a leaf from our benefits that accrue to the climate scientists by